Hey guys, when the fish are biting, you can catch them on almost anything, but I'm going to show you an awesome new rig called the Neko Rig that catches them when they don't want to bite anything else. The Neko Rig's super effective way to catch fish year-round, but for me it really shines once the fish get offshore a little bit and get grouped up. You know, there's a million ways to catch a bass, but when the fish have been on certain places for a long time and you know they get accustomed to seeing the same baits come by, this is something a lot different, and a lot of fish haven't seen this yet. The action of the Neko Rig's super unique. It's nothing like a shaky head or a wacky rig worm. It's got a way more tremendous amount of action. All right, this is how I rig my Neko worm. I take a 6.5 inch straight tail worm, VMC 16th ounce Neko nail weight, push it in the head of the worm. Then I just go to the hardware store, get you a size 36 O-ring. You can get like 20 of them for $1. Slide it over the tail of the worm, pull it down down into the egg sac, and then I take a number 2 VMC Neko hook, and I'll actually thread it on there a little bit. Some guys just go through the O-ring, but I think you get a little better action if you come in there and bite a little bit of that worm too. Holds on there really good. Then when you set the hook, bite the fish, that slides right up your line, doesn't get in the way, you don't lose your bait hardly ever, and it's an awesome little fish catching rig right there. First, make a good long cast, let out some slack. I'll let it sink to the bottom, reel down to a little bit, and then just start shaking my slack, getting that worm to dance a little bit. When I am shaking this, and you know it's dancing, and I lift it up off the bottom a little bit, and I kill slack in it, that weight will actually pull that worm backwards. You know, fish don't see that a lot. Everything's kind of always moving towards the boat the entire time, and this is something that kind of goes back towards the fish, and I think you get a lot of bites because of that. When fighting fish on a Neko rig, I like to take it easy. Usually I'm not fishing this around a ton of cover. I'll keep my drag a little tighter when I set the hook. These fish will not drop this rig, so you got plenty of time to set the hook. I'll actually give them a second or two once I initially feel the bite, make sure they got that worm good, and I just won't reel down to my line gets tight and then slowly lean into them. You don't have to set the hook really hard with this technique. And once I get these big fish up to the boat, I back that drag off and just kind of let them do their thing. I just like to work them up to the side of the boat. Whip them if I can, if not I'll grab them by the belly. Is a really good way to get them too. Awesome hook placement again. That's one thing, especially with these finesse techniques, it's really hard. I mean, if you punch a fish through this part of the mouth, any hook can do that, but that top of the mouth's really hard. And with a lot of these finesse style hooks, you end up skin hooking those fish on the roof of the mouth. That's one thing I've noticed about this VMC Neko hook. It actually, it doesn't skin hook them, it punches solid meat every time. Nice to see. Big confidence booster for me in a hook when everyone you set into is pinned perfect. You know, when they're biting, you can throw almost anything down there and catch them, but we're talking about cold fronts, high pressure, clear water, anything that's got those fish in a little bit of a funk. This rig excels at catching bass that don't want to bite anything else.